All right, so to go from using Vim as like kind of a joke and a meme to using it for actual work is a very important step. And I did it a little bit recently, but there's still a lot to go, I think. So I'm going to show you how to navigate like a big code base. There's really two main tricks. There's going to definition and then like looking for LSP references. And I'm using Telescope to do this, but it is native. So let's open up just like a part of this Svelte code base. Compiler, legacy, sure. And let's go to a function. So you see this function remove surrounding white space nodes. What we can do to move kind of up the DOM tree to figure out where this is used is by default, there's a native binding GRR. And you can see this will populate the quick fix list with all the different references to this. And then we can go QQQ, and then we're moving through all the references to this. So that's like extremely useful if, let's jump back to that function. If you're in like a code base, especially like web code bases like React, that's where I kind of picked up this trick is like, you want to move up and down a DOM tree. And in general, code kind of flows like that. Like there's a function definition, then it's defined at a bunch of places, and you kind of want to find where those places are that it's defined. You could also move backwards, but first I'm going to show another smoother way. So there's the native GRR, which opens the quick fix list with all the places that occurs. But I have a key map defined, and if I go to my config, let's see, it's SR for LSP references with Telescope, and your fuzzy picker should let you do this. But you can do leader SR, and then I'm going to get an error here because I'm using multiple LSP clients, but it goes away after the first use. Don't really know how to fix that and don't really care that much. And you can see this is the same thing that was in the quick fix list, but now I have a little preview and I can search through it. And the advantage of this is now you have all the Telescope bindings. So what you can do is like Control T to open up a new tab with this. Or you could alternatively do like, so if we do it again, you could do like Control V and then open a split. I forget the binding for the other kind of split, but you can just do Control W H or Control W J, Control W K, Control W, yeah, Control W K does it, and then you could Control W plus or Control W, however you increase windows. I don't remember. Z10. There we go. Yeah. So yeah, you can basically just open the picker like that. And actually, another great thing about these pickers is if we go back to where we were and do leader SR, you can actually just Control Q and that'll send it to the quick fix list in the exact same way. So you can achieve the same thing, but I prefer the fuzzy picker implementation. And tabs are great for this because you can have your like base case function where you're kind of working off, and then you have your references to the function, and you can kind of like follow a reference like I did with SR and then like open it in a new tab and then like do some work around here. So this body nodes, but it's actually nodes, it's just one node, you know, you change that and then you like have this to come back to. But an easy way to travel back is to use GD, or this only worked because it was in the same file. What I prefer is control bracket, which is like the LSP definition. The reason that's better, so if we go search references, hopefully there's one where this is outside this file. Looks like it's all in the same one, so let's find another file to do this in. Index.js maybe? Okay, compile. I don't know if compile will have multiple uses, but I guess let's check. Okay, it does, so it's kind of all over the place. Oh, and tests. This is a perfect example. So we Control T to open this up, and let's close a couple of these other tabs. Now we're importing it here. If we go Control, or if we go GD, it'll just stay there because GD now in native Vim like just goes to the next, or it goes to the top of the file occurrence. So GD will go up there, but Control bracket will take you to the actual definition of it. And there's a couple of other LSP bindings now that are native, like there's type definition as well. I haven't really internalized that yet. I know about it, but I have, I think, a binding for type definition. Yeah, search type. So if we wanted to, we could probably do that. This is all JavaScript actually, so that won't really work. But if there was typescript tsconfig svelte.ts, okay, let's see. So if we wanted to, we could go to the type definition, leader st, and it looks like that will show all the interfaces. I wonder what the native binding is. Is it like GT, maybe? I'm not really sure. There's a way to go to type, and it's natively built into the NeoVim LSP stuff now. I would find it in the manual, but it's like really hard to find that stuff. So yeah, that's basically it. There's just search reference, and then there's like drill in with control and bracket. And there's a couple other things as well you can do with this. Like a really common one is to have grep, but that's pretty obvious. I have a binding leader si, which greps inside the current word, so that pulled out values, but it's useful if it's like a very specific function, like a very common use case. Let's see if we can find one. Maybe not in this. Okay, render effect. Leader si. Okay, that appears everywhere, but you see what I mean. It basically just puts it in, and then you can like start specifying things after it. And it looks like that'll specify parentheses after it. I'm not sure because, yeah, it's a little weird how it combines. It just like puts it in there for you. Render effect. I guess it's fuzzy matching, but yeah, leader si is nice to put it in there for you. And then the reason I'm also using tabs is because it's just like the context is better than having them all hidden from you. So if I go and search through all telescope pickers and then search for buffers, you can see like there's a bunch of hidden buffers, and it's kind of nicer, honestly, to just have most of them like in tabs. And you can see this is from the Kakoune codebase, and I'm actually going to switch over to that just to show that this works in multiple languages. So let's see, interface, user interface, sure. And like menu style. So we could do, or let's do info style, leader sr, leader sr to search for references. You can see here it's defined down here, info show. Or we could go menu style, leader sr, it occurs in these places. And it will vary kind of LSP to LSP. If we do search inside, actually, it looks like there's multiple instances of menu style, and it's interesting. It's kind of fuzzy finding a menu. I don't see menu style in that line, but yeah. Sometimes you have to finagle your LSP a little bit. Sometimes it's like not perfect. It depends on like the language, and some languages are a little bit weird, and some languages aren't as good with type definitions. So it's harder to follow references and stuff, but for the most part, this is a pretty solid way to do things. And yeah, that's about it. Just drill down with control bracket, and then search for references with SR, and then open tabs with control T. And if you're in a big code base, that'll help you quite a lot, navigate around stuff. It helped me. But yeah, I'd like to hear what your advice is for working in bigger code bases. That's honestly about it. Oh, and Kakoune, if you want my thoughts. I looked into it, and it's like, it's so very tempting to use, you know? Like the editing model I like a lot more, and I think it really is standing on the shoulders of Vim in many ways and doing things a lot better. But it's also like setting up all the LSP and stuff I haven't looked into, and it's like a whole massive like cost to kind of get set up and working, where my Vim setup just kind of works already. And it's like, yes, it might be better, but I've already committed so much to this. If like the LSP setup turns out to be extremely easy for Kakoune, I might switch to it, but it would really have to be like dramatically easier, and I'd have to be able to kind of recreate this fuzzy picker workflow, and it's just like so much work for something that I already have pretty much working to my liking. I don't know, but maybe some Kakoune genius out there is like has a good reason to do it anyway. I don't know. I'll see you.